You're traveling through the unknown, a journey beyond the corners of reality, where the shadows whisper and the chill runs deep. Welcome to the dimension where your deepest fears are given form. This is the Midnight Mystery.
Welcome to the Midnight Mystery.
Today's episode is called, I Found a Demon in My Photographs.
In each episode, we delve into the shadowed corners of our existence, bringing you tales of the eerie, the uncanny, and the downright terrifying. From the realms of the supernatural to the depths of the human psyche, no stone is left unturned, no dark secret left hidden. As the clock once again draws near midnight, prepare to embark on another adventure into the uncanny, the eerie, the horrifying, the Midnight Mystery.
The room was dim, illuminated only by the soft glow of the computer screen. I sat hunched over, eyes tired but fixated. The old village had been a photographer's dream. Each cobblestone, each weathered face, each creaking wooden door, steeped in stories and the passage of time. I had captured images of the village with enthusiasm and a deep sense of satisfaction, feeling like I had managed to snatch pieces of history within the frame of my camera. Opening the first image, a quaint old house shrouded in vines and mystery, something instantly felt off. In the shadowy corner of the photograph, almost merging with the darkness, there was a figure. At first glance, it seemed like a trick of light, an odd shadow perhaps. A closer look revealed something unsettling, a grotesque face, hollow eyes, and a malicious smirk lurking in the obscurity. Just a coincidence, I muttered to myself, rubbing my eyes. I clicked on the next photograph, trying to brush off the eerie feeling crawling up my spine. The village square, lively with ancient oaks and silent whispers of the past, filled the screen. But there it was again, that face, closer this time, a palpable malignance emanating from the shadows. A cold shiver ran through me, and an unsettling realization began to blossom in the pit of my stomach. My hands trembled slightly as I hurriedly opened the next image, and the next. The figure, or demon as my racing heart began to identify it, moved progressively closer in each image, its presence an ominous cloud that began to cast shadows over my mind. Seeking some form of rational explanation, I picked up my phone and dialed my friend Mark, who shared a passion for the mysterious and unexplained. "Hey John, how's it going?" Mark answered, his voice alight in the looming darkness. "Mark, I found something strange in the pictures I took today." My voice barely above a whisper, as if speaking louder would invite the entity into the room. Intrigued and curious, Mark listened patiently as I described the horrifying discovery. His silence was a canvas for my frantic words and trembling uncertainties. "Send me the photos, John," Mark finally said, a tone of concern veiling his usual cheerful demeanor. I quickly forwarded the images, waiting, holding my breath, feeling the seconds stretch into a palpable tension. As I waited, I glanced back at the screen, half expecting the demon to have moved closer, reaching out from the digital realm into the tangible. The room felt colder, the shadows longer, as if the atmosphere itself was being influenced by the unearthly presence in the photographs. "John," Mark's voice broke the silence, heavy with hesitation. "These are disturbing. Have you noticed anything else unusual?" My mind raced, replaying the day, the walk through the village, the moments of capturing the photographs, searching desperately for anything out of the ordinary. "Nothing," I admitted, feeling a sense of vulnerability I couldn't shake off. Mark's words were careful, calculated. "It might be worth looking into the history of the village, John. There might be stories, legends, something that could explain this." Nodding, more to myself than to Mark, I thanked him and ended the call. Left alone with my thoughts and the haunting images, a sense of unease wrapped itself around me. I couldn't shake off the feeling that this was just the beginning, that the demon in the photographs was a harbinger of something darker, something that lurked in the shadows beyond the realm of understanding. Compelled by an irresistible urge, I found myself digging into the past, searching for threads of stories that could weave an explanation. The night stretched on, a symphony of whispers and shadows, as I delved deeper into the unsettling mystery, feeling the presence of the demon lingering ominously on the edges of my reality. Day after relentless day, the eerie photographs became my constant companions, each pixel a puzzle, each shadow a haunting whisper. The grotesque face seemed to mock me, growing ever closer, ever more menacing as it lurked within the confines of the digital frames. Obsession consumed me, a hunger to unveil the truth, to peel back the layers of darkness shrouding the ominous figure. The village's history unfolded like a tapestry of the macabre, tales woven with threads of dark arts, mysterious vanishings, and unexplained phenomena. Each story seemed like a clue, a piece of a jigsaw puzzle that, when assembled, would reveal the terrifying mystery enshrouding my photographs. I reached out to local historians and elderly villagers, seeking the whispered secrets and faded memories that often linger in the shadows of the past. "Sir, I've discovered something unsettling in my photographs," I said, my voice strained with the weight of uncertainty as I spoke to Mr. Ainsley, a local historian well-versed in the village's lore. Mr. Ainsley's eyes, cloudy with age but sharp with curiosity, scanned the images, his face tightening as he encountered the horrifying visage. "This village," he began, his voice a low, resonating timbre, "has always been steeped in mystery. Dark tales have clung to its stones, and shadows have whispered through its streets for centuries." His words, each one heavy with the wisdom of years and the echoes of ancient tales, painted a chilling tapestry of legends and histories, of places where the veil between realms was thin and darkness often seeped through. Days blurred into nights, the demon ever present in the recesses of my mind, a constant tormentor lurking in the shadows of my thoughts. Conversations became struggles, the real world paling in the haunting glow of the supernatural enigma that had invaded my life. During a fleeting moment of clarity amidst the tempest of obsession, I called Mark again, desperate for a semblance of understanding, a guiding light in the prevailing darkness. "Mark, it's getting worse," I admitted, my voice a raw whisper. "I can't shake it off. It's always there, lurking, watching." "John, you need to step back, take a breather." Mark's voice resonated with concern. "Obsession can be as dangerous as any demon." But his words, though rooted in concern and friendship, seemed distant, muted by the overpowering symphony of shadows and fears that orchestrated my thoughts. The photographs became a mirror reflecting the depths of the unknown, each viewing a descent into a labyrinth of darkness and chilling revelations. Time became a shadowy canvas, each moment painted with strokes of anxiety and the sinister embrace of the demon's haunting presence. In the relentless pursuit of answers, the boundaries of reality began to blur, the world around me overshadowed by the foreboding presence of the demon and the ominous tales that had become the relentless narrators of my thoughts. In the suffocating grip of obsession, I felt myself being pulled deeper into the abyss, losing myself in the haunting melody of the unknown. The journey back to the village was a tempest of conflicting emotions. Apprehension gnawed at the edges of my determination, and the familiar landscapes seemed to harbor an unsettling aura, overshadowed by the tormenting mystery of the demon. Armed with my camera, a silent witness to the unfathomable, I ventured through the worn paths, each step echoing with the silent whispers of the village's haunted past. Ancient trees lined the paths, their branches twisting and turning like a gallery of spectral apparitions, and the wind carried murmurs of forgotten tales. As the sun began its descent, casting the world in hues of fiery agony, I revisited the locations that had been the silent stages for the ominous photographs. Shadows seemed to breathe with an unsettling rhythm, the world imbued with a supernatural essence that weighed heavily on the soul. My heart raced as I reached the old, weathered house, the very nucleus of my torment. The air thickened, and a cold, foreboding wind began to wind its icy fingers around the realm. Compelled by a force beyond understanding, I raised my camera, allowing the lens to pierce the gathering darkness. The shutter clicked, capturing the moment, the breath of shadows, the essence of the unseen. My hands trembled as I looked at the camera screen, anticipation a heavy chain around my senses. The world held its breath as the image materialized, revealing the demon in a proximity that sent chills down my spine. Its eyes, windows to an abyss, were locked onto mine, a connection that resonated with malevolence and an ominous understanding. I could feel its presence, a tide of darkness washing over the realms of reality, shadows dancing to the rhythm of an ancient, terrible symphony. In that moment, the barriers seemed to blur, and I found myself standing on the threshold of two worlds, one foot in the seen and the other in the unseen. Desperation, like a dark companion, whispered the need for answers, a plea to unveil the secrets that lay shrouded in the mystery of the photographs and the village's haunted tapestry. With a voice hoarse from the strains of the unknown, I addressed the demon, allowing my words to resonate within the realms of shadows and whispers. "Who are you?" I demanded, each word a flicker of light in the darkness. "What do you want?" The shadows seemed to quiver and the wind carried echoes of whispers and laughter, the world a stage for the unfolding drama of the supernatural. My breath fogged in the cold air, each heartbeat a drumbeat echoing in the silence of the confrontation. There was no answer, only the deep, unsettling silence that seemed to be woven with threads of malice and ancient secrets. The demon's eyes bore into mine, a silent communication that reverberated within the depths of my soul. Fueled by the fires of desperation, I navigated the shadows, allowing the confrontation to unfold within the haunted landscapes, each moment a brushstroke in the chilling portrait of my obsession and the village's ominous mysteries. The night embraced the world, and within its dark folds the confrontation lingered, a tale written in the language of shadows and fears. Back in the dimly lit room, the haunting encounter with the demon in the village still fresh in my mind, I rushed to transfer the photographs to my computer. The images, once mere pixels, took on a sinister life of their own. The demon's presence seemed to bleed through the screen, an insidious aura of malevolence that sent shivers down my spine. As the images loaded, I could feel a heavy weight settle in the room, an oppressive force that whispered in the shadows. The grotesque face, once a distant and elusive figure, now dominated the photographs. It was no longer content to hide in the corners, but boldly asserted its presence, each pixel etching a mark of evil into the digital canvas. I leaned closer to the computer screen, my heart pounding, and beads of sweat forming on my brow. The progression was undeniable. The demon had moved closer with each photograph, its sinister grin growing wider, its hollow eyes more penetrating. It was as if it had been watching me all along, waiting for this moment to unveil its dark intentions. A wave of dread washed over me as I began to connect the dots. The demon's movement in the photographs was not arbitrary. It was purposeful, calculated. It was coming for me, inching closer with every snapshot, marking the progression of a sinister plan that seemed to revolve around my very soul. My mind raced with fear and confusion. What did the demon want from me? Why had it chosen me as its target? I had no answers, only the haunting certainty that I was in grave danger. I picked up the phone and dialed Mark's number once more. My voice trembled as I recounted the latest developments, the demon's relentless pursuit, and the growing sense of impending doom. "John, this is beyond anything I've ever heard of," Mark replied, his voice tinged with disbelief. "We need to find a way to stop this, to protect yourself." But the words offered little comfort. The demon's presence had seeped into every corner of my life, and it felt like there was no escape. The room seemed to close in around me, the walls echoing with the demon's malicious laughter. In a feverish state, I began to research, desperate for any clue that could help me understand what I was up against. I delved into ancient texts, paranormal forums, and occult rituals, searching for a way to confront the demon and break free from its relentless grip. The night stretched on, the demon's presence a suffocating shroud that left me gasping for air. The photographs had become a curse, a visual chronicle of my descent into darkness. I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making, and the demon was the puppeteer pulling the strings. As the first light of dawn began to filter through the curtains, I realized that I was running out of time. The demon was getting closer with each passing moment, and its intentions remained a chilling mystery. I had to find a way to confront it, to unravel the sinister plan that seemed to revolve around me before it was too late. Fear had sunk its icy talons deep into my soul, and my mind had become a battleground of terror and despair. The demon's relentless pursuit, its sinister grin etched into every photograph, had shattered my sanity. I was a man possessed, haunted by an entity I couldn't comprehend. In my desperate quest for answers, I reached out to paranormal experts, hoping that someone could shed light on the nightmarish ordeal I was enduring. The conversations were surreal, filled with skepticism and disbelief. Some dismissed me as a hoax or a deluded mind, while others, unable to provide a rational explanation, offered hollow condolences. "It's all in your head, John," one expert said, his voice condescending. "There's no such thing as demons or supernatural entities." But I knew better. I had seen the demon with my own eyes, felt its malevolence in the very marrow of my bones. It was real, and it was closing in on me with each passing day. Sleep became an elusive stranger, as the demon's oppressive presence lurked around me, a relentless specter that fed off my terror. Every creak in the night, every shadow dancing in the corners of my room sent my heart into a frenzy. The boundaries between the real and the surreal blurred, and I found myself trapped in a nightmarish limbo, where the demon's grin loomed larger with each sleepless night. I knew I had to do something, anything, to break free from this nightmare. The research intensified, and I scoured ancient texts, desperate for a glimmer of hope. It was during one of those long, solitary nights that I stumbled upon a passage, a faint whisper from the annals of forgotten knowledge. "The demon seeks what you fear most," the text read, cryptic and enigmatic. "To vanquish it, you must confront your inner demons." The words sent a shiver down my spine. Could it be that the demon in the photographs was a manifestation of my own fears and insecurities? Was it a reflection of the darkness within me, brought to life by my obsession and terror? I had to find out. With trembling hands, I set up my camera, determined to confront the demon once and for all. The room was thick with an otherworldly energy, the shadows taking on a life of their own. The demon's presence seemed to pulsate, a malevolent force that seethed with anticipation. As I clicked the shutter, a blinding flash of light filled the room, and the world was plunged into darkness. When the light faded, I looked at the camera screen, my heart pounding in my chest. The demon was there, closer than ever, its eyes locked onto mine, filled with an eerie intelligence. I felt a cold sweat beat on my forehead as I realized the truth. The demon was not an external entity. It was a reflection of my own darkness, a manifestation of my deepest fears and insecurities. It had been feeding off my terror, growing stronger with each passing day. But it was too late to turn back. The ritual had been set in motion, and the demon was unleashed in all its terrible glory. As it advanced, its grotesque grin widening, I understood the horrifying twist that fate had in store for me. I had unwittingly given life to the darkness within me, and now it was ready to consume me entirely, leaving nothing but an empty shell to wander the shadows of my own tormented creation. In that dark and desperate moment, I set up my camera, an eerie invitation to the demon lurking in the shadows of my life. The room grew colder, and a sense of foreboding settled like a heavy fog. I could feel the malevolent presence drawing nearer, its invisible tendrils wrapping around me, tightening with every heartbeat. With trembling hands, I clicked the shutter, and the room seemed to hold its breath as the flash illuminated the darkness. The demon's face appeared on the screen, its grotesque features twisted in a malicious grin, its hollow eyes boring into my very soul. "Who are you?" I demanded, my voice quivering with a blend of fear and fury. "What do you want from me?" The demon's response was silence, a haunting void that seemed to stretch into eternity. The room darkened further, the air thickening with an unseen menace, as if the very fabric of reality was unraveling around me. I had no choice but to confront the demon head-on, to seek a way out of this nightmarish ordeal. Desperation led me to an old, forbidden ritual buried deep within the annals of the occult. It promised liberation, a chance to banish the demon back to the shadows from whence it came. With candles flickering and incantations whispered under my breath, I embarked on the ritual, a last-ditch effort to break free from the clutches of the darkness. The room pulsed with an otherworldly energy, the shadows dancing with fervent intensity, as if the very cosmos held its breath in anticipation. As the final words escaped my lips, a realization struck me like a cruel, taunting echo. The demon wasn't an external entity, a malevolent force from the beyond. It was me, a manifestation of my own inner demons, born from the depths of my fears and insecurities. The photographs were not a window into another realm. They were a mirror reflecting the darkness within me. The ritual had not banished the demon. It had unleashed it fully, allowing the darkness that had festered in my soul to consume me entirely. The room closed in, and I could feel my own essence slipping away, replaced by an emptiness, a hollowness that echoed with the torment of my own creation. I had become the demon, a specter condemned to wander the shadows of my own tormented psyche, a prisoner of the darkness I had unwittingly unleashed. The room dissolved into shadows, and as my consciousness faded, I realized that I had fallen victim to the most horrifying twist of all, a descent into the abyss of my own making, a nightmare from which there was no awakening.
I hope you enjoyed our episode. I'd like to extend a heartfelt thanks to you, our brave listeners. Your presence in this shared journey into the unknown is what fuels our stories. Your fascination is our motivation. Did this episode send chills down your spine? Then leave your comments, your thoughts and theories, your own midnight mysteries. Your feedback is the beacon that guides us through the uncharted territories of our stories. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our channel. By joining the Midnight Mystery family, you won't miss out on a single chilling tale. As a subscriber, you'll be the first to know when a new episode lurks around the corner, ready to pull you back into the shadowy depths of the unknown. This is the Midnight Mystery signing off, leaving you with a simple reminder. When the clock strikes 12, fear the silence, for that's when our tales come to life. Good night, Midnight listeners, and remember, not all who wander into the dark are lost.